Hello and welcome to Alter Albums. This video will provide some helpful details and tips on how images are placed and adjusted within our software. Our software features pre-designed layouts that are fixed. They are not customizable. With that said, there are over 200 layouts to choose from, so it's very likely we have a layout that's close to what you are envisioning, ready and available. We'll touch more on selecting layouts in a later video. In our software, rather than placing an image in a design area, resizing it, moving it around, and wondering if you have everything aligned, we provide layouts that are guaranteed to deliver an elegant-looking album, one that will let your images tell the story. The frames within our layouts are 4x6, 5x7, and square format, in most cases. Why is this important to know? Well, images from a camera are typically a 4x6 format, so there are considerations to make when designing your album. Once you've spent a few moments with the software, these considerations become second nature. This first layout here is a nice place to show how a single image can be represented in different ways within the frames. There is no cropping. Rather, we let the software and the frame do the work for you. So I'll drag the same image to a couple different frames, and you can see how it influences the image differently on each. Here I've placed the same image in a square, a landscape, and a portrait frame. The image itself is a landscape image and format, so if you wish to see the most of the image, the landscape frame, which is here on the top right, is the one that will afford you that. Here on the left side of the design area, we have a square format full page frame. The majority of the image will be viewable, but there is room to move the image horizontally and focus on details that you prefer. And to do that, you just left click on the image and you can drag it horizontally. And so we'll say we like it as it's presented here, just leave it at that. These smaller portrait frames on the bottom offer a good view of what occurs when placing a landscape image, a horizontal image, in a portrait or vertical frame. A good deal of the image is not going to be visible. However, for some frames, this can be an ideal way to leave out portions of the image you don't wish to be visible. So, sticking with this same image here, we'll just focus less on the sky, and you can present just the bride and groom. Now, let me offer a couple of quick adjustment tips for you. When you click on an image in the design area, a toolbox appears beneath the image, offering a few simple tools. You can zoom in, and in zooming it actually gives you even more room to reposition it. You can rotate the image. One nice tool is the ability to flip the image on its horizontal axis, and that's what this little icon here that looks a little bit like a sail on a boat. But if you click that, it will flip it in. There are many times that this can be helpful in composing your album. We also feature a couple of buttons that allow you to do some minor editing, like changing it to a black and white image if you like. There's a sepia choice as well, and then if you want to return it to its original state, you would just click the no filter button here and it will return it for you. And then lastly here we have an opacity fader, which can be handy in some instances. And should you want to remove the image entirely, you can do that here with the red slash. Next is an important and simple adjustment that can be needed on images that cross the center break in an album. Let me move to an image that will cross both pages and provide an example here. Let me choose an image with faces located in the center. Now, in a finished album, while there's no loss of image when a particular photo crosses the center. It is important when it comes to details like faces to be able to move the image slightly to the right or left. Most people, when designing their album, at least want to minimize the line going through the center of a face or eyes or mouths, and it can help to move the image slightly. And sometimes with the software that can be a bit of a challenge because as this image is an example, it's difficult to move it to the left or to the right because the image is actually taking up the entire frame horizontally. And let's pretend I'm looking for a way to make that center line not fall on that portion of her eye. A common question in this instance is, how can I make an adjustment if I'm unable to move the image in the direction I want? Now, the image does not slide because it's already fit in the horizontal portion of the frame. But with a simple use of the editing toolbar, we can make a change here that'll allow us some room to move it. So here we want to use the zoom tool, and we don't need to make a great adjustment here, but if you click it once, it will zoom in a little bit, and what it does is allow us to have some room to move this image left and right now. And this gives us just enough to move her head completely to the right of the center break. In a later video, we'll discuss the importance of using the library of over 200 layout options, because utilizing the variety of layouts with the image placement tips we just discussed will help you accomplish what you need to make the album look just the way you desire. Thanks again for choosing Alter, and enjoy working on your album.